This may be one of the more cursed maps I've ever seen. The Balkans and the British Isles have been flipped, including religions and cultures. Albania is the big dog in Britain, with Bosnia to the north and Croatia shagging sheep in the west. Across the Serbian Sea is Serbia, with Little Herzegovina to the north. Down in the Balkans, as you would expect, you have England with Ireland competing for dominance in that region, while Wales is the Personal Union of Hungary, and it's anyone's game. This one should be good, and if you're excited, please do make sure to leave a like on the video and share it with a friend if you think they might enjoy it as well. Now, I've heard the phrase Balkanized before, but not quite in this context. Though I can't lie, I kind of like Albania's red better than England. Things have been switched around a bit though. You can see Wales over here, Personal Union of Hungary. England down here has their lands, and they've even got their little Irish lands over here in KOTOR. So culturally, we got the South Slavs over here, but the Highlanders remain. We've got the British lads over here, and we can't forget about the Celts over here, the Irish of the Balkans. So who do you have for your favorite? I think I'm going to go with Albania just because they are the biggest right off the bat, but only time will tell. We're keeping the natives this time around because they don't seem to be as annoying as they have been in previous patches, so we'll see how that goes. But you guys know the drill. We hit speed 5 and we unpause. The diplomatic opener, allied to Navarra, says Albania. And they are also guaranteeing Provence. They were guaranteeing Brittany for a minute there, but they're not anymore. I think the reason being they're at war with them now because Albania decided that they wanted to retake their lands. They do have some cores over here in Wales, so yeah, makes sense. So sadly, it looks like Croatia is going to get gobbled up. Also a nice little touch. I appreciate the fact that this is the Albanian channel. We also can't forget about the Serbian Sea, very important. In talking to the lead dev of the mod, take a look at this. You can change the capital to Dublin if you are Serbia, and it will change Dublin to Dubograd. Truly a beautiful attention to detail. The Irish are attacking the Scots, and it looks like they are absolutely dominating them in a war. Conquest of this province over here. Croatia is fully occupied, and it's only a matter of time before Brittany gives up the fight as well, and Albania retakes the lands of Croatia. Meanwhile, Ireland down here has reduced Scotland to an OPM in this Donja Kraje, or however that's pronounced, province. Peace in our time, and the crown of Croatia has been reintegrated into the lands of Albania. The Albanian kingdom under Gjirgi Skanderbeg is stronger than ever. Oh, well, it appears that in this timeline that Serbia is actually Albania. I'm sure that that phrase won't upset anybody. It seems reasonable, right? Yeah, safe to say Serbia's done. And the Mad Lads just full annexed them. My goodness. Meanwhile, the warlords over here in Ireland are pushing quite aggressively to unite their region. Ulster here getting probably full annex, let's be honest. Now, sadly, taking a look at these missions, it looks like Albania is probably not going to work through their mission tree. And likewise, the British are probably not going to be able to do a whole lot. So that's one of the drawbacks. Obviously, if the mod dev wanted to, you know, switch a bunch of things in the mission tree, they could, but I'm pretty cool with the way things going the way they are already. And now is Herzegovina's turn to join the Albanian kingdom. Their ally of Bosnia was called in, but it doesn't look like Albania is going to be struggling with 41,000 men ready to march on Edinburgh. Albania is occupying quite a bit of Bosnia, all of them, actually, minus their subjects over here of the Isles, but somehow they are not getting access over to the Serbian Sea to get over into Ireland, and yeah, they've got a lot of land occupied and they can't get the war goal. So yeah, they've got a lot of war score, but they're losing war score as time goes on. Though I imagine whenever they peace out Bosnia, they will be able to get across there because they should have naval dominance then. Also worth a note, Albania is allied to Castile, who actually has gotten the Iberian wedding. Well, it appears here that Albania has decided to go exploration. So it looks like we're going to see a colonial Albania, who has also just united the Emerald Isle, as well as taken Edinburgh and this Argyll province from Bosnia. Take a look at this. 54,000 men. Albania, strong. It does appear that the Welsh have been integrated into the Kingdom of Hungary, and they do both share a dynasty here of the von Habsburg, so we'll see if the Personal Union appears up here at some point. Hold up, what? Is this a thing? Ducal Prussia? A Republic of Ducal Prussia? Aside from this mod, I'm pretty sure I'm playing with vanilla, so this must be from the Polish mission tree? I am very confused about this. Did you guys know about this? This is a unique mission tree as well. I am absolutely in awe right now. I have never heard of this. This used to be a thing from Missions Expanded back in the day, but I am not familiar with this. Also, Polish Baltic looking pretty good. So the Ottomans are doing pretty good here. And then you look down at the Mamluks and you say they're not doing as good. And then you take a look down at Ethiopia and you say, wow, Ethiopia is doing pretty good. And speaking of doing pretty good, how about that Manchu beating the tar out of Korea? And it looks like it's only a matter of time before they fight the Ming. And over here, you'll see the usual India Thunderdome, just a bunch of people duking it out. About what you would expect at this point. Though, for better or for worse, it looks like Bengal is, not thriving, which, I don't know. I'm okay with it for once. Do you guys see what I see here? I see that. That indeed is a colony of Albania in Brazil. And aside from Albania, we have Portugal over here in the Caribbean. So not only has Ireland taken this province here from England, but they're also in a pretty big war with Hungary, helping their ally of Poland destroy them. And you got to remember, they have some cores over here as well as some claims. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Poland give them some land. Meanwhile, the colonial game continues with Albanian Brazil well underway, but there is a new challenger here. Castile has decided to enter the fray. And there's still no Protestant Reformation yet after 1500, but we do have a beautiful Orthodox British Isles. They've even gone as far as to convert some of the lands of France and the lowlands. Though sadly, it looks like France did take back the lands in Normandy as well as down here, so I don't know. Maybe Albania has their work cut out for them. Uh-oh, stinky. Doesn't look like Ming is doing too good. Manchu destroying them, reconquesting them apparently, but I imagine there's going to be a whole lot more than just that. Ming's going down, Mandate is tanked out, and yeah, they don't have any armies left, so safe to say these separatists are probably going to have their way. So you see Norway's over here in northern Scotland, which I thought was pretty interesting until I looked over here and I realized Norway is also in northern Jutland. Somehow the Mad Lads broke free, are allied to Brandenburg and Muscovy, and have kicked Denmark in the teeth. Denmark allied to the Isles and Munster, so safe to say they're pretty diplomatically isolated. Also, Poland is having an absolutely banger of a game. Ireland over here not having so much of an absolute banger of a game. Looks like they are being beat up on as a secondary in a war. So, yeah, I don't know about this. And lads, I am happy to inform you we have our first Albanian colony, Brazil. Just look at this name, dude. That just looks like a Brazilian name, right? So how's this for a situation? The Norwegian-Danish unification war. Norway attacking Denmark and their allies to personal union them. Oh, Denmark, how the turntables. Albania with absolute balls of steel attacking France, who is allied to Norway. They do have quite a bit of land down here to reconquest, so no surprise about the attack, but man, they're rocking a clean 84,000 men. Meanwhile, France has only got 29, and Norway with actually more men than France at 31,000. And also, I cannot see this without mentioning it. New Castrioti, the colonial nation of Eastern America for Albania. Mwah. Beautiful. My immersion is thoroughly satiated. Meanwhile, there is a couple of Protestant centers here in Europe, as well as one Reform center up here in Denmark. But overall, considering the fact that the League War should be pumping off within the next 30 years or so, it doesn't look very good for the Protestants. There is also a Reform center up here that I missed in Scotland. A few border changes in the last couple of years. Albania doing quite well. Bit of a comeback here in France as well. France, who is not doing so well. They're getting encroached on by both the Austrians, the Albanians, and apparently we've got an Orleans down here in the south. Italy is mostly Tuscany with a little bit of Naples in the south. Venice and Genoa control the north. And it looks like the Ottomans are being pushed back from the Balkans between Austria and the Commonwealth. Though you can't overlook Ireland, they are hanging in there. Same with our little OPM of England. Scandinavia is indeed Norway, and Russia has united and is doing okay. Though I do have to say, I think they're being outshined by the Qing in China over here. The Emperor of China. And apparently they're also the Qing of Japan. So there is that. Western Africa is Albanian. Very Albanian. Australia is very Spanish. Though to be honest, it looks like even the Portuguese colonies are Spanish. Because yeah, Spain ate Portugal. or integrated them. I don't really know which one. New Castrioti looking quite good, controlling a very large chunk of the east coast of America, and Vinland split by Albania and Canada up here. Aside from that, you've got some colonies of Portugal/Spain here in Mexico, as well as the good old left coast over here. But don't worry, I did see it. Kisanji here, our good old friends, Queen Jetta in Bengala, with one of the sweetest flags that I have seen in this game. And I think this new flag mod that I'm using with this new UI, I think it looks pretty good. Ethiopia is still holding out against the Ottomans, but it looks like they are slowly being pushed back, though it does look like they might be making the Ottomans work for it this time. As far as India, we actually don't have a Bengal this time, so I can confirm this is not a Chewbert vid. Instead, we've got Bamanis, this Oud guy I've never heard of before, Mewar, and VJ down in the south. We can't forget about this little dude over here with the most incredible elephant sprite I have ever seen. In 1700, yep, we have religious peace, and the empire looks a little funky. We've got the legendary Elector of Ulm over here. And I don't know about you guys, but this Commonwealth does not quite look how I remember it looking. The deluge is upon us, this time between Scandinavia, Russia, and maybe a bit of Austria as well. How cool is that? We have an AI-formed Italy by Tuscany. I love that. I love that a lot. Also, Austria is absolutely massive. And look at that. Spain making their way into Anatolia, taking a province already in a previous war, and steamrolling the Ottomans in a war currently. France continues to crumble, getting gobbled up by Albania as well as Austria, and it looks like Liège is also getting in on a little bit of the feeding frenzy. South America is exclusively Spanish, except for Albanian Brazil, and the north is split between Spanish, Scandinavian, and Albanian. Though it looks like the Spanish are the primary guys over here. Qing and Russia still absolutely duking it out for dominance over here in Eastern Asia, and I am not sure if India has actually changed basically at all. Bamanis still controls very similar borders to what it did before, but take a look up in the north. Timurids have been gobbled up by Russia, and Russia now has ports on the Indian Ocean, if you can believe that. Norway did indeed form Scandinavia, and now you know they have their special Norwegian Scandinavian ideas, so that's pretty sweet. A couple of rarer tags in the north here. You got Rugen, Kallenberg, that's pretty cool. Luxembourg, one of the strongest tags in Hearts of Iron, is sitting here, independent and chillin'. The current great powers are a very beefy Spain, with over 4,200 development tied up into Spanish colonies, Austria, Albania with 2,000, Qing up in the number 4 slot, formed by Manchu by the way, Russia, Ottomans, Scandinavia, and then Bamanis down below them. Well, lads, it appears we've got a world war on our hands. The Spanish-Venetian War started in 1741. Using the Crush the Revolution casus belli, Spain has attacked Venice, who is indeed a subject of Austria. Austria called in their allies of England as well as Salzburg, but somehow Albania, Russia, and Italy have all joined on the side of the defenders. With a very nice 69 war score going on right now, it looks like the Spanish are going to lose. Look at these losses. Italy with the dankest number of losses I have ever seen in my life at 420. Take a look at this attrition though. It looks like Austria just hates having their men living. They just want them to march up into the mountains and to die peacefully. But take a look at that. Spain has lost almost 800,000 men. Their subject in Mexico has lost 114 alone. That is mind-bogglingly large numbers. And take a look at these numbers. Spain has significantly less, almost half as many infantry in the fields, and only about 75% as many cannons. Also, just take a second to look at how many ships have been sunk. 243 ships for Spain, and 154 for the Austrian side. Truly a war to end all wars. Only a couple hundred years early this time around. And the final damage is pretty impressive. When it was all said and done, Albania did not quite unite the Isles here. Scandinavia still has a few islands up in the north. Russia and Qing China control the overwhelming majority of Asia, with Ayutthaya taking up a very large chunk of Southeast Asia, who is a tributary of Qing. Good old Albanian Malaccas and Albanian Indonesia over here, looking pretty good. Spain controls NZ and Australia, as well as a very large portion of South America, including the Caribbean, as well as Mexico. But we can't forget about Albanian Mexico, hidden in there. As I said before, the west coast is Spanish, the interior, as well as a large chunk of Canada, is Scandinavian, and we finish the game with New Castrioti controlling the east coast of America. Spain controls a large portion of Africa, splitting it with the Ottomans in the north and Albania in the south. The Ottomans crumbled, you can see here, Ottoman Northern Africa, but alas, they do still hold the city of world's desires. The absolute legends, the Manchu, took over the Mandate of China here, formed China, and passed all celestial reforms with maximum mandate as well as meritocracy. Truly a great timeline to have. How often do you even see Qing form, let alone thrive and do well? The HRE is a bit of a sad story. There was religious peace, but no reforms were passed, or at least there are no reforms now. If there were any, they were revoked. However, Cosimo Gaiman over here is the emperor, with electors of Brandenburg, Saxony, Hesse, and Liège, and 2 princes other than them in Austria and Dithmarschen. And speaking of gay man, there is actually a lot of them, apparently. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That is right. Austria shares a dynasty with Albania, Gascony, Brandenburg, and Italy. Hilarious. Romanovs in Russia, and Haifa over here in China. Religious map mode, Catholic over here, and I have no idea why this is the case, but for some reason Albania really struggled with converting their lands. There's a bunch of reformed pockets over here, but they are Orthodox, that is their state religion. China is Tengri and Confucian, with obviously a lot of Orthodox over here. The Russians were prolific, even converting Iran as well as northern India. And another large chunk of India was converted over here to Buddhism by Ayutthaya. They're Catholics down under, and the New World is all Catholic outside of Albania's subjects. The cultural map mode is very Iberian in South as well as North America, but we do have our blessed Albanian culture over here in the East Coast as well as down in Brazil. However, the Spanish definitely did some culture converting in South Africa as well as the Sahel, and it looks like the Hungarians did some culture conversions over here. Seems that the Burgundians had a bit of a renaissance here in central France. And I believe that the Bosnians converted at least this one province. I think this one was Highlandered in 1444. English culture has been pushed out of Albania for the most part, sadly for them, and Irish culture exists in one province in Kosovo. 55 development Kosovo with Irish culture. Blessed. And I think that is a great place to call it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you leave a like on the video and share it with a friend. If you want early access to these videos, you can support me on my Patreon for as little as $5 a month. If you want to join my Discord, my subreddit, my Twitter, those things are all linked in the description below the video. And until next time, stay chill.